Good morning. Good morning. I'm a little bit early because I want to give those people that I have hidden from the channel completely a little message. If I want to wear something sexy, I will. God is the only judge, and good Christians don't judge others. So all I have to say is, you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back, because I'm not that kind of Christian. I'm not going to let you step on me. So I'm delivering a free message. And if you attack me, I will slam you back to the ground, because I'm that kind of Christian and God knows my heart. So if I want to wear something sexy and you torture me and you say it's cringeworthy, then I'm going to keep on wearing sexy stuff because it bothers you and you have control issues. I don't tell you what to wear. I don't tell you what to say. If you come on my channel and you attack me, you're gone, okay? That's 11 of you are gone. There's some really anal guys and a lot of jealous girls out there. So that was, if you guys want to check it out, that was all the attacks on the Patrick Byrne video, which, I like him, but gosh, he didn't know that much. It was like baby food. What can I say? Nothing against him, but I had more information than he did. So there. All right, so let's go to this. I am now wearing a small. Small, take a good look. Small, okay, and this is loose, all right? Small, and that is in a combination of two things. That would be the keto with CirstenW.com, and now this. This stuff is amazing. I am so energized from this stuff that you need to take a look at it. And it's great stuff. It's the metabolic greens, okay? And it detoxes you too. So now I can fight back double as hard against the puritanicals, Christians, and conservatives. And believe you me, if you're that judgmental, God doesn't know you. God does not know you. I use this health product. This is from Kim Huang. I feel good and losing about a couple pounds. Thank you, Pure Health Research. It's a great product. I really like it. I started Metabolic Green since July the 3rd. I have more energy, intense nourishment. Yes, support your body's ability to detox. That's great. I'm the queen of detox. That's if you have all kinds of diseases that you need to detox. That would be cancer, all kinds of stuff. Boost your healthy metabolism, curb your appetite and craving, burn more calories and fat, boost healthier digestion, enjoy natural energy all day long. And believe you me, it's working. And yep, it's not that, expensive, and it's good. So give it a shot. All right, I use it. All right, so yes, this is how I ignore them. I ignore them by deleting them. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get into this crazy leftist radical, and she is funded by George Soros. I always like to put a face to the radical, okay? And yes, she is a radical. Stacey Abrams of Georgia. 200,000 ballots. I mean, this is crazy what she's doing in 2 counties, all right? So we have that. And let me show you what I did. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Take a look at this crazy. She tried to push for governor. She's funded by George Soros, by the way. And take a look at how crazy she is, okay? All right, so Georgia, together we have changed the course of our state for the better. No, you have not, because he is not elected. And Kamala Harris hasn't even resigned from her post. This corrupt criminal, Stacey Abrams, is now being exposed, delivering 200,000 fake ballots for Joe Biden to Fulton and DeKalb counties in Georgia. Attention, Donald Trump, Kerry Kupernik, DOJ, DOPJ, and Brian Kemp and Secretary of State took huge bribes, arrests. She refused to resign. So they're all in on it, including the governor of Georgia. And I'll show it to you. The next comment is going to be, yeah, no one wants to deal with this, but yeah, right. She's a beast. 200,000 ballots. Okay, 200,000 ballots from this beast to Georgia. Okay, let me read you what I have on her. Okay, I will read you something that I have on her. Trust you me, the language is very racist, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Again, if you're not on Inc. Social and we don't censor you in a way, you can drop as much information as you want. We don't censor you in any way, and you are not limited to any kind of space. Okay, look, my top sexy. And I will continue wearing sexy stuff until I get really fat, which I'm not going to allow myself to do. And those, you know, those puritanical Christians, really? Maybe some weight loss is in order so you don't have to attack others, all right? So here we go. This is from my friend, you know, Bill forgot to share it with me, but I found it anyway. It was good. He's sharing it with my top male moderator, Richie Rich. And Richie's got 3 jobs, so I don't really, you know, if you can't get, oh, there he is. Hi, Richie Rich. There you are, my favorite guy. This is what our friend Bill shared with you. And here we go. And I'm not going to say the racist words he used. Okay, anonymous, ID, YG. He's made comments before. Since you are a few hours from kickoff, let me share what Sydney knows. That's Sidney Powell. She knows that Dominion was switching votes. She knows that the CIA was switching votes. Yes, CIA's running Dominion. Of course, I mentioned that. CIA, Dominion, Antifa. CIA runs it all. That is the triplicate, you know, triplet. There you go, triplet. She knows the corruption in Georgia involved both the Republicans and Democrats. Republicans were bribed months ago to get the Dominion system in and turn a left ear as Dominion programmed the system to switch votes from Trump to Biden. She knows money exchange hands to prevent mail-in ballots from being checked for signature problems. Now, here's the kicker. She knows Republicans took a pot full of money, and she is close to finding out where the money is stashed. Oh my gosh, I love it. And she knows, and probably will not comment on now, is the Republicans and Democrats agreed before the election that there would be a runoff for the senator positions in Georgia, and the Republicans would win because the CIA would switch enough votes to keep the Republicans in control of the Senate. Interesting. So the CIA controls the rhinos still. The Republicans got a shitload, shitload of money, particularly the Secretary of State and the governor. Yes, he got hundreds of millions of dollars. The corrupt Senate, Governor Brian, and the Secretary of State. He's got a long name. Secretary of State, Georgia. He is a criminal. He got hundreds of millions of dollars from his Brad Raffing Brad Raffensperger. Here we go. I want to show you a picture of this corrupt beast. Well, I will in a second after I finish reading this. This is how disgusting this person is. There he is. I'll show you a picture of this. Is an old rhino that is taken hundreds of millions of dollars from the COVID relief. Okay, that's where he got the money from. All right. So there we go. Let me continue reading what he said. Okay. Okay, so the CIA is going to allow the Senate to, the Republicans control the Senate. The Republicans got a pot full of money, particularly Secretary of State Raffensperger, and they got to be a check on progressive movement in the Democratic Party, and that pedophile who would have his excuse that he could not do anything. Yeah. Is that Governor Brian Kemp? And finally, with Trump out of the picture, both parties could go back effing the American people with glee, or screwing the American people with glee. A shit pot of Chinese money went to both Democrats and Republicans. Of course, the wild card was that I can't even say that word, bitch, Stacey Abrams, who went effing wild and had her pack of feral ends and Democrats stuff ballots all over Atlanta. She personally trucked in a shipment of over 200,000 ballots to Fulton and DeKalb County voting precincts. That dumb biatch did this on her and is one of the main reasons why everyone got effed. The imbecile did not realize a video was made documenting the unloading of the ballots and that they were going to get the justice. The D of justice. Wow, really colorful language. The D of justice shoved up their ass. Considering Trump knows 4 million ballots were changed by the CIA. Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas to you. Clean up the language and you might be more believable. Yeah? Okay. And last but not least, again, sexy top. Everyone start complaining so I can delete ya. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm back double as hard, okay? That's all I have to say. Back double as hard, okay? Here we go. We have this freak. Antifa leader. Here we go. He said, this Antifa leader warns Trump, we're armed, concede, or by Sunday, or we retaliate. Adam Rushhuba. He is scrubbed off Twitter. The Antifa leader had issued an ultimatum to Donald Trump warning that armed militia will retaliate if the president refused to concede by Sunday at noon. Adam Rushhuba, who claims to lead a violent mob of Antifa leftists in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, warned Trump and his supporters that armed thugs will target conservative areas if their demands are not met during September 29th presidential debate. Here we go. Democrat nominee Joe Biden responded to Trump's remarks about Antifa-led violence, but Biden insisted that group was not responsible for any violent rioting by urging, of course, he's part of the CIA, so is Antifa. Antifa is funded by them. Antifa is not militia. Oh, you gotta be kidding. And you have this guy. There you go. Adam Rahumba. Take a good look at this criminal. I love to show you all their faces. It's great. If you have children and you let them see their MAGA grandparents, I don't respect you. This attitude is why I'm done targeting conservative politicians that have been operations during MAGA voters. That's why I'm done. Targeting, okay. I'm optimistic and hopeful about the 8 to 10 hours America's a-hole and his fan club get an enema. Conspiracy cults. Just a beast. And here we have Robbie Starbuck, Hillary's drone. Send me clips. Give me a break. All the riots in Portland, you need clips. Give me a break. Just Antifa's just an idea. It's time to end this idea. It's not an idea. It's a totally organized radical group. Okay, it is not just an idea. We have monkeys on. Okay, let's put monkey on. Hello. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Great. I'm so energized to have you on. I had to delete a bunch of puritanical conservatives that always attack me for the way I dress, what I say, because they can't help themselves because they're a bunch of freaks. Let me share this from Monkey Werx. He is fantastic, and I'm very honored to have him, actually. So here we go. This is his little video that he sent me, and I love it. And the music's even great. Okay, ready, go. Wow, that was awesome. I love the music. That was just awesome.
Welcome, everybody. Just wanted to pop on. I know you guys have been watching the skies a lot, so I thought I would just come on here at 2:34 on this beautiful Tuesday here in the state of Texas. So here's the thing. I just wanted to show you guys. We still have record numbers. This is insane. Today we have 1,200 right now. Currently, 1,211 military aircraft up over the west, which is 1,000, almost 1,000 more than we usually typically see on any given day. So the average is 200. But when I see this going on, so this one here went from Miami to Kingston, Jamaica. Notice the flight time, 2 hours, 17 minutes. You were over international airspace in roughly 20 minutes, right? As soon as you get out over Miami and you start punching out. So let's look at the flight. They leveled off. So yeah, as soon as they level off right here, they're probably just about over open water about this point in the flight, okay? And so they go down here to Kingston, Jamaica, black site, and they take care of business. Here's another one. This one went from, this was 18 hours ago.
Okay, I'm making the audio go up. I'm sorry.
Back to Miami.
Okay, here we go.
Spec Ops Monkey here.
Sorry.
Welcome, everybody. Just,
I'm making it loud.
You guys have been watching.
Okay, they're complaining about the volume, which is fine. Here.
Here at 2:34 on this beautiful Tuesday here in the state of Texas. So here's the thing. I just wanted to show you guys. We still have record numbers. This is insane. Today we have 1,200 right now. Currently, 1,211 military aircraft up over the west, which is 1,000, almost 1,000 more than we usually typically see on any given day. So the average is 200. Other ones, but when I see this going on, so this one here went from Miami to Kingston, Jamaica. Notice the flight time, 2 hours, 17 minutes. You were over international airspace in roughly 20 minutes, right? As soon as you get out over Miami and you start punching out. So let's look at the flight, if they leveled off. So yeah, as soon as they level off right here, they're probably just about over open water about this point in the flight, okay? And so they go down here to Kingston, Jamaica, black site, and they'll take care of business. Here's another one. This one went from, this was 18 hours ago, same plane, okay? Port-au-Prince, Haiti, back to Miami, all right? So they probably brought somebody back. Another one, this was the day before, 23 hours ago. They went from Kingston, Jamaica to Port-au-Prince. All right? These are black sites, guys. I'm telling you, ain't no doubt in my mind. And so when I start looking at this traffic, this is a agency bird chartered, okay? Port-au-Prince, Miami, Kingston, Jamaica, Port-au-Prince, Miami, Kingston, Jamaica, Port-au-Prince, Miami. This is going back November 7th. You guys can see. So this took place back when Epstein didn't kill himself, okay? So this was that same flight. You notice in N331CK, right? That thing was went to Bahamas International, right? Went down to a different location, not Guantanamo Bay, but to Coco, Cuba, went to Kingston, Jamaica, several flights down to Jamaica, down here. Also went down to Trinidad, Spain, Tobago, went down here. So international flights, okay. And then also we caught these birds again doing the same thing, right? Now it was blocked going from here to there last time, okay. So, but this is the little things that they do.
Okay, all righty. Okay. All right, so we can take that down and we can both go back up. Here's the man himself.
Yeah.
And let me turn down the volume because they're going to say I'm screaming now because we have to turn up the volume for them. Okay, people, can you hear me? Because my audience, a lot of them have hearing problems. I'm just kidding. They complain a lot. Okay, all right.
I've got hearing problems too, so okay. I certainly understand. So yeah, hopefully that gave you a little bit of a flavor about my show and what I do. So my big thing is really tracking aircraft. I look at the military flights, and I'm watching Guantanamo Bay as well as XPL Honduras very closely, just to watch these aircraft come in and out. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, the military aircraft will be the ones that go in and out of Guantanamo Bay, but it's really not that. It's actually charters that they use, because the National Defense Act prevents us from using military assets to transport prisoners to and from Guantanamo Bay. So,
well, you know what I feel about I love you, and I love, Roseanne told me about you. Nice. And I love Mike Morales, because he does the weather warfare stuff. Okay. And I know that the Department of Defense is very corrupt. That's why he had to get rid of Esper and the guy right under him. Can't remember his name, Anderson or something. But I don't know what you think about that, about the, CIA working with the Department of Defense and working with NASA doing the weather warfare. Do you have any idea on that? What do you think?
No, I mean, I've followed some of the HARP stuff, and I know that that is actually real. They definitely can generate weather patterns and things of that nature. But people have to remember, one of the things, if you ever go back and look at when NASA was formed, they were formed within a month of DARPA. And so both of those came out of the Operation Paperclip, which was the German bringing over all the German scientists and things of that nature. So both of them have their own secret programs and run all kinds of different things, from weather warfare to DARPA is big on, I mean, what are they not big on? Those guys have their hands in everything, but they do drones and hypersonic missiles, and they have all the social media, the stuff that we're all using right now. They are the ones that founded, what was it called? LifeLog originally, then it went to Facebook. Yeah. Now it's, they are the founders of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 23andMe, Ancestry.com. Now you start thinking about, well, I understand the social mass, surveillance aspect of it, but when you start getting into people's DNA and the DNA makeup, that gets a little bit dodgy to me. But so yeah, I don't know much about the weather pattern stuff. I just pretty much track the flights, and I'll look at some of the marine, boat traffic stuff too on occasion. So.
Wow, but you're doing one thing, he's doing something else. It's great. It's like a good team. If I was the director of defense, I would be hiring both of you. So it's all good. But as we know, they're all corrupt. That's why we have to drain the swamp. Okay, so you saw a ton of flights going down to Guantanamo Bay recently, right? Recently.
Yes. Well, so here's the thing. Guantanamo Bay is, and a lot of people don't realize it, but as a military base, when you look at the supply chain logistics aspect of it, there's a tempo and a rhythm that goes in and out of any base. It's just like a commercial spot, like DFW Airport or Houston or Miami, right? Everything has a tempo and a rhythm. And so you'll get the same flights, same tail numbers every day, you know, or in the case of Guantanamo Bay, those flights show up. You have cargo flights that come in twice a week and sometimes 3 times a week. You have contractor flights that come out of Fort Lauderdale, which are the little Embry Air jets or the Lears, okay? And those are contractors coming in and out, and those are on a regular rhythm and tempo. What I'm looking at are planes that come in what we call out of sequence, okay? So they are, in essence, you've never seen them before, and all of a sudden they just pop up out of nowhere. And they're charters, of course. They're not military assets. So now what I was focusing in on, because I've noticed a rhythm and a pattern when it comes to there are aircraft out there that are known agency birds, okay? Because I mean, you can go read articles from a long time ago. There's companies that work with the CIA and Homeland Security and all the agencies that are a government supplier of aircraft assets. Okay, they've been doing it for a long time, and so they don't just transport troops and bodies back and forth from war zones. These guys are actually taking. They've been caught before in the past, and that's where Haspel comes into play. Is she's got some history with that, okay? But there's a channel out there called what is it? The Rendition Project, and so they went through and did a whole bunch of discovery and pulled documents through the FOIA process that had to do with these rendition flights. And if people aren't familiar with rendition flights, it's basically a torture flight, is what it is. But it's the PC word for torture. Makes it sound a lot more pleasant than it really is. So, yeah. So these flights that I'm tracking, what happened was just like when Maxwell was arrested, when Epstein didn't kill himself, I saw a flurry of activity going to and from what we call black sites. And those are international islands just off the coast of Miami. So you get down to Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, some of them even down to Trinidad, Tobago, Costa Rica. I mean, there's flights going all over the place, this flurry of activity that I'm seeing with known black ops birds and that I've been tracking for a while. And so when I see that activity going on, what that tells me is there's some intelligence gathering and people are getting the shakedown, right? So they put them on these rendition flights, they get them out to the black sites, they shake them down, they get information out of them, and then they probably, catch and release, right? Take them back into the public. And now they've got probably exponential, people on the radar that they're going to go after. So that's what I'm watching. And then every once in a while, like for example, that Kalita bird that went to all these different black sites, all of a sudden it'll pop into Guantanamo Bay. That's how I found that aircraft, is because I wasn't watching the black sites. I was watching the Kalita bird. And then I started researching all of the flight activity with the Kalita bird. And I'm like, wait a second, there's a trend here. And I go back and I look at, old news articles and things of that nature about black sites, and it just all fit together. And I'm thinking, all right. So like when Maxwell was arrested, if you remember, the media came out and said, she was arrested on, I think it was July 3rd or something, right? Well, I have a Pacer account. So I go into a Pacer account and I start looking at the date she was arrested. And I just had some activity going in and out of Guantanamo Bay. And I'm thinking, man, let me look at the Pacer account and see what her arrest date was. Well, it turns out she was actually taken into custody in New Hampshire the 28th of June, not July 3rd, when the article came out that said she was arrested. And they tried to say she was arrested July 3rd. But actually, it happened days before. And so if you have that intelligence and you start looking at the flights, you can very quickly piece together, that's why I don't think Maxwell's in New York City. I think that's a full-on cover-up. I think she's at Guantanamo Bay, 100%.
What do you think about, all of my intel on the iceworm base in Greenland? Do you ever track that? Because I think the high caliber criminals are there, including Epstein and including the corpse of Hillary, which they had to dump like 5 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. That has popped on my radar several times, and I haven't really gone into detail looking at Iceland. I've seen a couple flights go in and out of there. Matter of fact, one of these birds just went to and from Iceland. It went actually over to Bolivia and then came back to Iceland. That just happened within the last week, right? So that makes sense, and it's plausible. And it's a very remote location, which also fits the prison model. If you look at the National Defense Act for this year, there was a study that was requested by Trump that said, I want you to look at 2 alternate locations for Guantanamo Bay for overflow. One was XPL Honduras, and the other was Kwajalein, which is Kwajalein Atoll in the South Pacific. So if you're familiar with Kwajalein, I actually used to live out there, and so I'm pretty, I know that island inside and out. So those are things that I'm trying to, I studied Kwajalein. I have not had eyes on Iceland. I don't see a lot of flights going north. I mean, I've seen a handful that they catch your attention because there's nothing else on the radar there, right? It's just aircraft, heading north. So, but I haven't really been watching Iceland as much. I could probably start doing a little recon on that as well and see if there's something that pops in. But
yeah, Greenland. Is it Green? It's Greenland.
Is it Greenland?
Yeah, Greenland.
Okay.
It's Greenland. It's the IceWorm's former CIA base. Hopefully the Patriots have taken it over. I think they have. It's under, and I have, because that's from Gene, my military decoder, who will be back weekly after December the 10th. So Gene will be back. Anyway, so yeah, that's amazing. What do you think about, do you know that, you think that Gina Haspel is corrupt? What do you think about her?
Yeah. I don't know that I'm putting people more on the corrupt side than I am the non-corrupt side. I just think that it seems to be there was some intel that dropped that she was actually injured. Do you remember the Army raid that just took place at the Dominion facility in Germany?
Yes.
So that just took place, and I've seen actually good articles on it. So there is some truth to that. Okay, but what I've seen and heard was that she was there during that operation, and that she got injured during that operation. And that was around the same time that you saw Trump trying to fire her and people going to her aid. And so I'm not sure what's going on there. There's definitely something stinks. Now, I do know that her name is heavily involved from the rendition flight aspect. So, yeah, so she's probably dirty. I mean,
she's famous for torturing people. She's famous for that, and we can't really quite figure it out. But Christopher Wray's gone, thank God, and he's been fired, I think, and she's next. And we have how many? We have 30,000 FBI. Half of them are good, half of them are corrupt, and we have the CIA, which is basically 20,000. And we can't seem to get rid of the rest of them because they're all over. They're in, where are they? They got kicked out of North Korea. They went to Guatemala, and that's where they're pushing up all the caravans. And then they're all over there in Iran. They're all over. So I have a feeling that she might be corrupt. But 90% I agree that she might be corrupt. But really, we need a clean house. I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah, it needs to be shut down. The problem is they're like, it's like cockroaches, right? They just scatter, and unless you actually get rid of them, and you can't, they're. So here's the thing: if you go back to, if you've ever heard about the 5-Star Trust, there was a trust that was set up back in I want to say it was Eisenhower days, and the Rothschilds and everybody were involved in this trust. But what it was basically black programs that were run by the CIA, where they were funneling drugs to fund their black operations. Okay. George Bush Sr. was actually part of that. Okay. And so when he came in and was, war on drugs, it was all, just like we see from Hillary and everybody else, where they try to tell you how to think, and they just feed you the lie so that you believe the lie. And most people are they're sheep. They just take whatever the hell people say. And if that's what he says, it must be true. Right. And so, but this 5-Star Trust funded the CIA and their black ops programs, and they had so much money. They probably still have money, and that's how that deep state is probably funded, because that was the original. Then you had Hillary and everybody trying to layer onto that for their own 5-Star Trust type of thing with Uranium One, right? And so that was the whole pay to play scandal that took place, where we were selling our ports out to foreign countries and It's a shame. I mean, the level of corruption, I think it's probably, it's probably 80% of everybody that's in the government is corrupt. I would imagine. I'm seeing probably more than that, really.
Yeah, we know what I think about the CIA, the clowns in America, the cocaine importing agency, gun running, drug trafficking, human trafficking. What else? Weather warfare. The the events, 9/11.
For sure.
Hurricane Dorian, all the hurricanes pretty much created. Then we have, the shooting events, Parkland, Vegas shooting. They're all the guy that was supposedly the Parkland shooter, the patsy. They have like usually 6 or 7 shooters and one patsy. Well, and the patsy Paddock, that was a gun runner for the CIA for 2 decades. So basically, I'm always exposing the CIA, but the CIA is controlled by, the Council of Foreign Relations. It's nonstop.
Yeah,
we need to drain the swamp. And I just exposed earlier that gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams, another corrupt attorney funded by George Soros, brought in 200,000 ballots into Georgia, to DeKalb and Fulton County, by some CIA guy that speaks filthy, that has racist language. If we just would cut that out, we could put it on. I mean, I put it on anyway, but it's really crazy what's going on. Yeah.
I think it's just beginning. I mean, we're about to see unprecedented things happen in our nation. There's no way around it, because here's the deal. We've got 2 avenues, right? One, if Trump wins, and he's not going to concede, not if Trump wins, Trump's going to win. He's not going to concede. Yes. And the left they're going to lose their minds. Right. And so you're going to have false flags and riots and all kinds of stuff take place, guaranteed. Right. Mm. And now if they're successful, which they're not going to be, but if they are, the patriots then have to stand up, because if we allow this to take place, our country's done.
Yes.
And so it's time. Now it may come to the point where, we're going to have to go in and, start dragging people out in the streets. And, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I think they're going to underestimate the resolve of the patriots of this country. And I think that if they keep pushing us, they're about to find out just how dedicated we are to this country for our children and our grandchildren. So.
Yeah. And if you look at the number that voted for Trump, 73.5 million, and only 25 million for Biden, you would know that there's a lot of Democrats in that 73.5 million. So they're realizing that there's major voter fraud going on also, because a ton of them voted for him. So basically, when they do all their little, I think Gavin Newsom is pure evil. He's got that $4.5 million worth of weapons that he purchased at 1616 Capitol Street. And basically he's funded arming ISIS and Black Lives Matter. He needs to have a citizen's arrest. I mean, this, trying to kick him out, get him out the legal way is not going to work. You're correct.
No.
You need to get out to the streets. You need to drag him out and do a citizen's arrest. I totally agree with you 100%. And that's not just because I'm Chinese and I'm not a Chi-Com. I am a Singaporean and, very conservative. So yes, I am fighting for my adopted country. And really it's patriots like you that expose that I'm very, very, this information, I'm very, 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 very excited about, because you're really exposing stuff that none of us really know how to do. So thank you so much for everything you do, though. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm glad it's actually of value to people. And that's the thing. When I had a friend of ours, it's a close friend of the family, a long time, it was probably 3.5 years ago, started turning me on to Q and to 8chan and all the 4chan. And I'm like, I stay off the chans just because it is so volatile. They are. And there's a lot of stuff out there you can't unsee. And I'm that's not what I'm all about. Right. And so, she started asking me questions that were being posted on these, by Anon, saying, hey, what about this flight stuff? And I quickly recognized, hey, these are military comms that are being discussed.
Right.
You know, and then I started kind of vetting it with my circle of buddies that are all high speed guys. Right. And so I'm like, man, there's something to all of this that's going on. And so I started watching the flights just for myself. And one day I decided I'm just going to post one out there just because, you know, this is an observation that I made and it just got traction. And it was like, you know, I have people call me, you've heard the term, the plane fags. That's the 8chan or 4chan thing. I don't know what it means. It's not an insult. I thought I should have been insulted when they first said it, but I'm like, okay, I guess that's what I am. But there's not a lot of good ones out there. There's people that do it that don't understand really truly what they're looking at, and they'll throw data out there and really ignite the base about something that's really not taking place. And so I like to put the truth in there. Everything that I do, I come from a basis of just shining light on darkness, being, you know, I dig until I can't dig anymore. And you know, even documents like if you look at the Obama birth certificate, right? You know, I can take it face value. It's a fraud, and you can listen and see other facts that'll quickly make you realize that, you know, hey, this thing is definitely suspect. But for me, I'll take it, I'll drop it into my software, which I use the Adobe Creative Suite, and I'll put it into Adobe Illustrator, and then I can actually see that there's 5 different fonts that were made to create it. I can see that there are 30 plus layers that were actually see the buildup like a cake of the document. And then now I know, I'm like, hey, I did it I look for myself, and I'm able to validate, yes, this is a fraudulent document, you know? And so I don't know how the guy got through 8 years without that thing ever being, you know, punched out there.
Well, that guy, Sheriff Arpaio, exposed it.
Yeah.
During the last year, and they took him out. Basically, they didn't kill him, but they got him out of office because he exposed that. So you know that guy in Arizona. So you know, the county is very corrupt. That Maricopa County. We have to deal with all those corrupt counties, and I exposed that one guy too. Where the hell is he? Eric Coomer, the one that worked for Dominion Dallas, not Dallas, in Denver. And doctored all the machines. Where is he? That's the question. Arrest Eric Coomer. He is a leftist radical that upgraded. When they upgraded, that means doctored all the machines to really do exactly what he wanted them to. You know, switch over 4 million votes. And it's pretty radical. Where are these people? They need to be arrested, and they need to be speaking. How's that?
Yeah. No. So that kind of goes in line with the black site activity that I've been seeing. I mean, there's 5 aircraft that have over 100 flights between them, back and forth to black sites. So if people are getting the shakedown, he is very likely one of them that is going to be getting the shakedown. And so here's the thing: those people, most of them, they're not they're big talkers, and they'll hide behind their social media. But when it comes down to it, right at the end of the day, you put one of them on a rendition flight and you take them out to a black site in an island and waterboard them, they're going to be singing like canaries because they don't have, you know, and believe me, I was just on another show the other day, and we were talking about, you know, this process. You put somebody on an aircraft, and I don't know if you fly a lot, but if you've ever been in a thunderstorm on an airplane, you have no sense of, I mean, your control is gone, right? And so you're really relying on the pilots to keep that thing level. Right. But the guy next to you becomes your best friend. I mean, you may not ever have seen him in your life, right? And I don't care what color, creed, religion, whatever, you and him are best buddies during that thunderstorm when that plane's getting bounced around, because you have that sense of fear and you want to just be able to talk and touch anybody. And so you put somebody on a rendition flight, your sense of control is gone, and they can do it. You know, I mean, that vulnerability exposes a lot, right? Your control's gone, and now you're going to start really recognizing that, hey, my life is in danger here. And those guys are experts. They'll take you right to the edge and bring you back. And so they, you know, these are people that, you know, you see them driving around in their car by themselves with a mask on, right? They can't think for themselves. They don't understand how viruses work, and they just basically run around all day wearing a mask. And So these are the people that you're going to be putting on flights, right? Because that's how the left is. They're a bunch of unicorns, right? Snowflakes and unicorns. So, so I have a feeling that, you know, they're probably snitching on each other like nobody's business.
They scrubbed him off the internet. He's gone. He was the head of Dominion in Denver, and he's gone. And as you know, Denver is CIA. CIA West is Denver International Airport. And of course, CIA controls Dominion and it controls Antifa. So that is the, you know, the triple threat. That is like, you know, the triplet right there. So, you know, I've been explaining it to people. They kind of get it because, you know, and that guy went to every one of those swing states to alter their machines. He went to every one of them. I mean, the thing with the Patriots is, you know, people want information and the Patriots don't like to give it because they like to do their operation and then they'll tell you the stuff long after it's over. They're not going to tell you while they're doing it, while it's happening. It'll come up a while after. Whereas the liberals or radicals, I call them leftist radicals, they like to brag and talk about their stuff and put it all out there just to threaten you. But, you know, they're really not doing anything, really. Where's the big riot on Sunday from Antifa? Let's see what happens. That guy's got scrubbed off the internet, too. I mean, these people are just a bunch of freaks. I mean, I'm just shocked that, you know, there's
I've heard the Antifa guy was arrested. Is what I heard. So
there you go.
We'll see. But I got to tell you, the dumbest thing they could possibly do is try to breach the wall at the White House. If you think our SEAL Team 6 guys have weapons that people, you know, blow their minds, you just try to get into the White House in a mob fashion, and you'll see how quickly we resolve that issue. There's nope. There's certain things that just stupidity. You can't override stupidity. These people are they're sheep, right? Somebody's paying them money. Hey, here's $15 an hour to go get stupid. And if that's what your life is worth, then, you know, go for it. So, well,
they paid the poll workers to doctor up the ballots and fill in the ballots. The people from the unions, what do you call it? The auto union, the teachers union, they paid $400 to $600 a day. So they really wanted them.
Money.
A ton of them with our taxpayer money. So, you know, there's a lot of radicals out there. It's shocking. I mean, after we win, we're going to have to do what they want to do to us and re-educate all these morons, which is like going to be a lot of work because they're pretty much gone. You know, if that guy was from, you knew the problem already started because he went to school in Berkeley, California. That's leftist radical. Or, you know, Portland, that's the birthplace of Antifa. You know, they're already gone. So it's like, gosh, give me a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you heard the Antifa guys in Portland were being told, well, they were complaining because they were being hooded, right? They had vans pulling up and these guys were getting hooded and thrown in vans and taken for rides. So, you know, all it takes is that a couple times. Like I said, I was telling my buddy the other day, I said, man, if a black Suburban pulled up in front of my house and a bunch of high-speed dudes got out and hooded me and threw me in it, I would be talking before I got to the stop sign at the end of the street. Just because I know what I'm in for, right? I know where this goes and I know what these guys are capable of doing. And I just can't see these guys holding information and being, you know, because most of them are not prior service, prior military. They don't have any training. They don't know, you know what I mean?
They have zero skills, and all they know how to do is be radical. They have no operation skills. They're just a bunch of morons, and they grab the leaders. The rest of them are not going to know what to do. But I mean, it's like, let's clean house. It's really ridiculous what's going on. I mean, it's really crazy.
Long overdue. But you just got to have faith and trust that you know, these things will be resolved. So we'll see what happens.
So the flights are increasing, is what you're saying. The flights are increasing as you look.
So you know, okay. So we talked about the black site stuff. We talked about the tempo going in and out of Guantanamo Bay. Also, the tempo going into Honduras is also on the uptick. So those bases are definitely seeing an increase in activity. Now, the other piece and you have to keep in mind, XPL Honduras, Guantanamo Bay, both military installations. So those are prisons that can't be accessed by normal civilian people. Okay.
Mm.
But if we look at the military aspect of just the increase in flights in general, what I was watching, so on any given day, we have about 250 military aircraft up. Okay. That includes a lot of trainers, and you'll see pockets of heavy aircraft traffic in like the Panhandle of Florida, which is, Pensacola is a big military training operation. Okay. North Texas, Wichita Falls, Shepherd Air Force Base. That's a big pilot training location. San Antonio, down south by in Central Texas, that whole area right there is just chock full of trainer aircraft. Okay. So you take those out of the equation, and so you're probably still talking 200 plus on average military aircraft up on any given day. Okay. Except for weekends. It's a lot lower. But what I saw right after the election around November 7th and 9th was a slight uptick. It started to go up. And when we got to the 17th of November, there were 5-6 times what we normally see. And so that little intro video that you showed, that's what I was showing, was around the 17th of November. We had 1,600 aircraft up military, which is astronomical. I mean, now you have to keep in mind too, that we only see, I've been told just by people that are in the know on these apps and transponders and squawks and all the other military side of the house, that we only see probably 10% of really what's up. Okay. And so when you start seeing 1,600 aircraft up and thinking that's only probably 10%, then you've got almost the entire military fleet up in terms of aircraft, because there's only 16,000 aircraft in our entire, arsenal and, aircraft arsenal. So that's, you got a lot of birds up, and that's why I was saying there's activity, and that was just over the US, and then you go over to international, and there's a lot of activity going on. And so, so that's the uptick, and it's still very elevated. Right now, it's still sitting probably, I mean, as of Friday, or not, today's Friday. So Monday, my days are all messed up with this holiday in the middle of the week. Right. So, but even this week, it was still sitting at 600 plus. So it's almost 3 times what the normal number is. So we're still seeing a lot of elevation, elevated stuff. And it looked to me, just looking at the assets that were airborne, that it was troop movement or asset movement, right? Moving equipment or troops, probably, to a forward operating position or somewhere getting ready. Cause I definitely think, we know Trump's not going to concede. He's shown the fraud. And so as soon as he says, I'm not stepping down, and the Supreme Court injects and says, he is the president because of this fraud, and you guys were caught, and people start going to jail, they're going to lose their minds. And so that's what these, this pre-positioning is all about. So
I bet you they do it by submarine too. I bet you they have submarine activity too that you can't see. Number one. Number two, he signed an executive order in 2018 saying that if there was any foreign involvement, which there was Dominion in Canada, there was Seidel in where is that, in Spain, there was all kinds of different manipulation by other countries that
Venezuela
would be null and void. And he's covered himself from a few different angles, I think.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's crazy is that, Venezuela was one of them too. Chavez and Maduro were actually involved in development of this software. Right. And our CIA got a hold of it. Of course, they were probably embedded in it to begin with. But the thing that people don't realize is that there were algorithms put into place on this Dominion software, and that because Trump got such a large populist vote this time, exponentially, higher than he got last time, it skewed all of their algorithms. That's why that Dominion guy was going around trying to fix everything after the fact, because they knew based on the algorithms, you had counties reporting more votes than there are citizens in the county.
Yeah.
Right now, 120% reporting now. How is that even feasible across? And it only happened in swing states or blue air, so it was so blatant and stupid on their part, but hey, you can't fix stupid, but you can certainly help them, so.
Overkill. It was total overkill. He overkilled it. That's why it's so blatant. He overkilled it, and he needs to be arrested, and he needs to be brought up and start talking. That's what he needs to do.
Well,
I'm sure the FBI or CIA or what, not CIA, FBI, whatever's left that's good, can find him somehow, because he's somewhere, and maybe he's being
they've already got him.
Yeah,
they've already got him. I can guarantee it. These flights that are going in and out, and what I'm seeing, he's probably already been, they definitely have him. So there's no doubt in my mind. These flights that I was watching going to Costa Rica, and going back to Guantanamo Bay. Now that was a military aircraft at the end of the day, and it was actually a H-60, a Navy H-60 with the refueling boom on it, that's special operations. So that would tell me you probably have Navy SEALs going to and from Guantanamo to Costa Rica, and probably helping in the takedown. So that's, and you got to, and Costa Rica is a huge American population, right? There's a lot of people, expats that go down there to retire. It used to be glorious because you could, things were so cheap, but now the price, everything's gone up because of us. Everything is crazy. Right. And now it's not really a good spot to be in,
dangerous.
Very dangerous. So I got my wife and I, when I flew her down when we first met, and we got engaged down there, and we went zip lining and had all kinds of fun, and it was pretty safe. Right. And there's a status, because at the time that I flew down there, I was working for one of a major defense contractor. And so because I have a clearance, or had a clearance at the time, anytime I go international, I have to get a waiver saying, hey, you can go international. And so areas that are hot spots through the State Department, they give basically 1 to 5 rating. And so Costa Rica was a 1 to 3 back, and that was only 8 years ago. Okay. Mm-hmm. Today, that place is now, it's a 3 to 4 because of the crime. And the reason for that is because they don't really have a military, and they're surrounded on both sides. You've got Nicaraguans that are coming down, going into Costa Rica, and you've got the South that's coming in. And so it's just being overridden by corruption and all kinds of stuff. And so it's kind of, I'm glad I didn't retire and go down there and live, because you'd be stuck. You can't get out. I mean, we experienced that. We were down there, speaking of HARP and hurricanes that were being created. You remember the hurricane that came through? I can't remember the name of it, but it took out Pensacola, and it destroyed a whole bunch of Pensacola Air Station. Yeah. Right? And that was a 4 years ago, three years ago, something like that. But I was in Costa Rica when that storm was forming, and we almost got stuck down there because there was only a handful of roads in and out, and the roads had all flooded, and we were almost didn't get to the airport. So I can imagine if you have some type of a coup or something going on down there, your access roads, you only have, 2 or 3 roads to get you to any major point within the country. So you shut down those roads, and you got the whole country and locked down. So yeah, it's interesting times, without a doubt.
Is that Sally? Was that Sally? I think that was Sally.
I think it was Sally. Yeah.
Sally.
Yeah.
We know that the Patriots got hold of Dorian, and they put nuclear tactical nukes all the way up the East Coast from the the nuclear reactor in Port St. Lucie all the way up. And the Patriots got hold of it, and then they held the storm over the Bahamas because they were using, lasers and stuff to heat it up at night. And so they destroyed their 2 Chinese bases, submarine bases, and the one that was owned by the Dutch company Maersk. I can't even pronounce
Maersk.
Maersk.
Yeah, Maersk. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the cocaine package, the CIA, as you know, gun running through Epstein. I mean, drug, liquidation plant was on Epstein Island, but now they moved it to the Bahamas. All of their cocaine was washing up onto the beaches of Melbourne Beach in Florida. It was interesting packages with cocaine written on it. You can see it on the news. It was like, where did this come from? That was from there. That was amazing. That's they got hold of Dorian. So they're doing some good work, those Patriots. They're just doing it quietly, and boom, it's great. It's good news to hear all of this stuff going down. So we should know by December the 14th what's going on, because all of this voter fraud that we've exposed, and more and more and more, it's just nonstop.
Yeah, for sure. I've read that it could go beyond December 14th. That we may not have an answer, but that's okay. I mean, either way, we know where it's going to go. January 20th, Biden's not going to be. I don't know if you saw Biden's latest post, but it was a horrible green screen behind him. The flags were green screened in. He's standing somewhere, probably in his basement, or he's in hiding somewhere. He knows the hatchet is going to drop. That guy, that's why he's not coming out doing big public stuff. I mean, you think about most of them, your transition team's out. You guys are off to the races. He knows he's been caught. And so we've already got him for all these other things. The Logan Act, I mean, he was a violation of the Logan Act. Just that in and of itself, he should be swinging from a rope, right? And so now you've got him on this, on top of all of that. His goose is cooked. And so that's why he's broadcasting using a green screen and and it's a bad green screen. It's not even good. Like you can see, it's almost as bad as the one that's behind me right now, right? So, it's crazy. There is definitely a trick. I got to tell you, when you use green screens, you don't realize how many green items you have in your outfits, in your clothing, that you get in front of it and all of a sudden your neck disappears, or you hold up a glass to drink and it's like the Wonder Woman jet. Everything's clear. All you see is the background. It's
and
crazy.
Kamala hasn't resigned from her job. She knows something's up, and I think Hunter is supposed to have turned, just like a couple other people, like Loretta Lynch and some other people. I'm the one that covers all the arrests. I talk about the arrests, Comey, McCabe, the whole 9 yards, all of it. And not many people are covering that because they don't really want to touch it. So,
No. Well, you'll never hear that out of the mainstream media, because that would concede that we're actually winning something, or there's people being held accountable for their actions. So,
right.
And there's a handful of aircraft that I've watched go in and out of Guantanamo Bay that I have no explanation for, other than, I see something pop up in the news that looks kind of coded, like things about Snowden or things about Assange, and then all just around that exact same time, airplanes fly into Guantanamo Bay, and I'm like, man, I wonder if they're connected. Sally Yates was one. It was like she was in the news about a couple things, and it was almost, but it was just a non-event article, and all of a sudden a plane pops in. It came out of like Atlanta and went into Guantanamo Bay, and I'm like, well, it's kind of strange. So,
Well, I assume everything's being done, and let's not really worry about it. So, let's enjoy and relax, and just hope that we don't have to retaliate ourselves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, it's crazy, because in any other country, they would have already it would have been drug out on the street and taken care of. In any other country, it's because we're civil here and patriots. We this is a God-based country that people, are. It's founded on Christian beliefs, and so we're good by nature. We try to be, at least, and that's the only reason it hadn't happened. I'm telling you.
In Singapore, where I'm from, if you're caught, doing criminal activity and they know it, they don't even give you a trial. They just give you, either you choose an electric chair or hanging. There's no lethal injection. If you're caught with drugs, same thing. No lethal injection. Just finish you off. I mean, that's where I come from. So I guess I'm a little more conservative than most.
Yeah. Yeah. But I tell you what, as inhumane as that sounds, and even you go back to Old Testament, right, where if you got caught stealing, you cut off your hand, and they still do that in Middle Eastern countries. But crime is very low, and if you're dumb enough to do the crime, then the punishment is coming. So, I think that's part of our problem, is the fact that there is a lack of accountability for your actions here. Exactly. If you held people accountable for what they did, then it would stop.
They would think about it before they did it, because now they know that they don't have a problem. If they kill someone, there might not even be a problem, because there's no death penalties. So, that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, the real thing that's going to get people, and this is on a global scale, is that Dominion and all of that software, scorecard and everything else, It's been used to manipulate elections globally for the last 25 years. And so these, as elections start to come on where they were using any type of computer software to calculate or tabulate or whatever it may be, all of that stuff was being manipulated, all of it. And so people in other countries are going to realize the reason they have who they have in office is because that system was tabulated and used. That's going to be the eye opener, I think, for the world, because people are going to realize, hey, this wasn't just America. This happened in the UK. This happened in Canada. This has happened in France, Germany. It's happened everywhere. So.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'd love to have you back. If you can contact me anytime you've got some really hot info. And yes, he is amazing and he's one of a kind. He's the only one that really does this. So, and if Roseanne knows about him, then it's pretty much fantastic. She's like, let me educate you. Get hold of him. I'm like, okay, I will. And I do appreciate it. And it was just great information. Thank you so much. Monkey, he goes by Monkey, so it's all good.
Yep. Absolutely. Good deal. Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming on. I'm very honored. Thank you very much. Real information. There you go.
All right. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye. Okay, so enjoy, everyone. Yes, I will start to wear sexy clothing because it bothers so many people, and tight clothing because really, shoot, can you tell the newscaster what she should say or what she should wear? Really, that's not in the cards. Okay, well, I used your information. There you go. Williams here. And Richie Rich, my moderator, and him are really besties. And okay, so MAGA, many getting arrested, COG, keep arrest going. Where we go one, we go all. And yeah, I will have Kelly Marie supposed to be here coming Sunday. And we'll pray that she makes it. And then I have to babysit Addy, the kid from the little protege of George Webb. So I have to go pick him up today at the airport. Okay, again, Wednesday is the book signing. For me, it's just a tester for George Webb. Next Wednesday between 1:30 and 1 and 2. Let's just say between 1 and 2 at this park called Red Bug Slough Park. I don't know why they have such stupid name. It's on Beneva in Sarasota. Red Bug Slough Park. It's at 9200 Beneva, I think. That's what it is. The address is, 5200. 5200 Beneva Road. It is beautiful there. We're going to sign by a lake, and I'll bring all my books. My books are really, I bought them all back. So basically, you can't get them on Amazon stuff. And, they're like $14.99, and I just signed it for you. No shipping. So come up and come to Sarasota. I'll be happy to see you there. MAGA, many getting arrested. COG, keep arrest going. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you all for coming. There you go. All righty. Yes, that green with CW works. I'm a size small again. It's all good. Okay.